thing.
Yeah, yeah,
When I
exactly.
was in school, sometimes it was like, oh no. But anyways, it looks like you play a lot of Vayne and Tristana.
Yep.
Nice, nice, nice. So can you tell me a little bit about your your play style slash what do you think is stopping you from getting a higher rank, I guess?
Uh, my playstyle honestly is usually more oriented around late game. I try usually farm in the laning phase and play for late game. That's why I'm playing champs like Vayne and Tristana usually. But I can also be aggressive. The only problem with me being aggressive, I'd say, like playing aggressive ADCs, like say Lucian, um, I would usually I'm not very good at closing out games.
Interesting,
So
interesting.
yeah, yeah. Um, I'd say one of my faults is pushing my advantage.
Okay, okay.
Another one would be tilting.
Oh
I'm
no.
a very big tilter. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I guess a lot of people. I guess a lot of people could fall under that category too, huh?
Yeah. I reached Diamond 3. It's my highest just last week, and then I went on like an 8 or 9 game lose streak
Yeah.
and dropped down to Diamond 5, 50
Oh
LP. So
no. Oh
yeah.
no. Well, not sure how much I can do about the whole tilting thing, but we can definitely take a look at the gameplay portion of it, right? So,
Yeah.
um, when we first look at gameplay, we always have to look at lane, right? So, tell me, whoa, what are you trying to get out of this lane? Like, how do you consistently win this lane? I should say. What are you looking to get out of this lane? If you play this lane 100 times, what do you want to get?
Personally, I think we just want to survive laning phase,
Okay,
considering
okay.
they have heavy poke, but then again I do have Nami, so we we can take small trades and heal up from it. We can take even trades and heal up from it, since
That
we
is
have the
good.
sustain part.
Right. That
Yeah, I've actually made a really big mistake at the start. For some reason I queued into Ezreal when he had his Q up, so I took a bad trade there.
if Ezreal did not have Q, is this a good trade?
Such a low cooldown that I think.
If he had no Q, is it a good trade?
Yeah, I think so. No,
Mm,
no, no. He has minions.
I would say
He has
no,
minions.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And
No.
the reason being is when you Q in, you have to run away, right? Because
Right.
the range minions are hitting you. So you're taking 2 Ezreal autos and then range minion hits and a Karma auto. So that's like for one Q, that's like way too much, right?
Yeah.
In terms of what you just said about like what you're trying to get out of the lane, you're absolutely right, right? Oh, we outscale. I'm playing Vayne, right? Of course, for you, all the champions you play, you're trying to outscale, right? And what you said after that was also very important, right? You have sustain, so you can take even trades, right? If you, it doesn't really have to be small, as long as more so even, if that makes any sense. If you guys
Yeah.
go even in the trade, that means Hio is gonna outsustain them in the long run, right? So what you want to do is look for even trades. Like whatever she's doing here, that was better than even, right? So that is A plus, right? This
Yeah.
is like slightly less than this is well, I guess we should say this is a lot less than even. So this is not according to how we want to play the lane, right? So for example, if you wanted to get a small trade off in the beginning, what can you do here?
Right here.
Well, it's not honestly, it's not much because it's karma, right? But
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
he ever like, see for example, he hit that minion there, you could have hit him and backed off, right?
Yeah.
For example, not saying that that's the only play you can make, but that would be a way we can take an even trade, right? While he's hitting a minion. In here they're just gonna push you in, right? But every time Nami gets a trade off, you guys are like on the road to victory, right? So really what you guys want to do in this lane is make sure that you don't want to take too much poke, but know that you can win the lane if you get enough trades off, right?
Right.
And make sure you don't miss any CS, right? You know that, but definitely make sure if you ever tumble in, it's for a good reason, right? Oh my god, he took a tower shot. That's really good.
Yep.
But yeah, interesting. Wow. Okay, that's you guys are close to getting that kill. That was good follow up.
Yep.
Good follow up.
Yep.
I'm surprised he almost died.
Nami's damage is pretty insane early.
So when you see something like that happen, does your game plan change? What are you trying to do in this lane? Like, what are you trying to do right now?
Well, right there, like after we burnt our heal,
You're like winning lane now, right?
yeah.
So what do you want to do now? I guess is the question.
Zone.
Right, the game's already changed. Like 2 minutes in, someone messed up, and now you can actually win this lane, right? Really easily. So what do you do to push that advantage? I should say.
I'd say we have to try force a fight, considering they don't have heal.
What if they never want to fight? What if they stay at their tower?
We try zone them from CS.
Okay, you could try to do that. That's fair. But what are you doing in this example?
Okay. Well, I guess since you say that we sort of switched the lane around, so now we're sort of winning. I guess we could use that to our advantage to free farm and even help us even more to scale. Right.
So what are we doing in this? This part is really good, right? What are we doing here?
Just
like what are you doing here? Well, if you're just CSing, wouldn't you just last hit?
Right.
So what are the extra autos
we're pushing.
for?
We're pushing.
Yeah, we're pushing, right? We're pushing here. We're pushing as hard as we can, as Vayne, right? We're pushing as hard as we can, right? So I guess that begs the question, right? In lane, if you're winning, do you want to push? Well, this is kind of a loaded question. When do you want to push in lane? I should say.
When you want to pressure.
Right, when you want to pressure.
When you want to deny CS.
Right. All those things, right? They have the farmer at the tower. We want to pressure them. We want to put pressure on the map because we can roam first. All those things, right? All those things are very good because when you push, you have options, right? Yeah. So when you see that they burn heal and you immediately push, that was really good, right? Because how can they stop you, right? They hit you, you hit them, you win because you're out sustaining. Oh, baby. That was a nice trade. Sure. He took a Q to the face, whatever. But yeah, the idea behind you pushing here is really good, right? But also, what can you do that isn't just pushing here?
Well, I don't think we could have froze because.
You think you can, not necessarily zone them, but do you think you can pressure them when he tries the last hit? When you try last hit, right? So if you stand right here, what is their reaction? Karma's gonna throw a Q, right? Yeah. So the instant you dodge one Q, you come back. Ezreal loses like 2 minions, right? So that's something you can definitely do in terms of how to push your advantage, right? We want to take small trades. How do we force a trade, or how do we make it so we can fight? Stand near minions that are about to die, right? And then take auto trades, and then you're good to go, right? As long as you don't eat a Mantra Q Karma to the face, good to go. Even if you do, she's actually almost out of mana, so I would say that would almost be okay, right? Yeah, right. So in that case, maybe you'd be like, make sure that if he wants a minion, he has to be scared, right? Because if you put enough pressure, oh my god, they didn't do anything. When you put enough pressure, when they're trying to go for CS, they will inevitably miss a bunch of CS, right? It doesn't matter how good they are, right? You're gonna miss CS when you're afraid you're gonna get hit, right? So what's the difference between here's a good example. When people say, you have really poor CS, go into a custom game and play against bots for 5 minutes, right? People say, I can do that all the time. And then when they go into a ranked game and they're like, holy shit, I'm afraid he's gonna hit me, and now you have half the CS that you did in the custom game, right? That's the example, is that if you can pressure the enemy laner while they're trying to do something, they're going to mess up. Like, that's how you force them to mess up, if that makes any sense, right? Right. I got you. That was really good, right? So can we say, so this is an example of what happens when you push, right? Can you tell me if this is really good or really bad, or what? Or maybe not, maybe whatever? I think that was good for us. Say again? I think that was good. Yeah, I think that was good too. It was extremely good, right? You got a free Lee Sin gank for Nami Flash, and that was it, right? That was like, holy shit. 10 out of 10. Lee Sin wasting his time, coming around for round 2. That's never going to work. I hope he didn't steal that, but Eve is getting ahead. She's scaling. Lee's not, so everyone's really happy here, right? Scaling bot lane, scaling jungle is now winning, right? That's really good. You guys are in a good position, and you're getting like all of this, so the fact that you're getting hit doesn't matter as much because you have sustain and you didn't get hit by everything before, right? So we're kind of happy here. Interesting. So we have the base here because can't walk out without them sitting in a bush or something, right? I think this decision is fine. Come back to lane. Okay, now Nami has no flash, and they came back to lane. Does your plan change, right? Your plan earlier was we want to push for an advantage, right? Or that would be the theoretical idea is we want to push, pressure him when he wants to CS, and then bait Lee Sin gank, right? Now does that plan change after you back?
I mean, Lee Sin could come around for another gank, but considering we saw a mid there, we knew we were okay. But I guess it does change since we can't really overextend.
Yeah. Say you don't see Lee Sin. Okay, what do you want to do now?
Let them push it in.
Do you have to though? Are you saying that if you push, there's no way to bait a Lee Sin gank and survive?
No, we could survive definitely.
Okay, how do you survive? Easy answer, right?
Ward.
You have a summoner up that's really strong.
Yeah.
As long as you don't get one shot or something, right? So if you flash, you bait a second gank, right? So who on the enemy team are they gonna go for?
Nami.
Right, and then how did they kill Nami?
Land Lee Sin Q into, I'd say, Karma Flash W.
Yes, you need Karma. You need the Karma root. Okay, so now that we know all that, how do we stop the CC portion of the gank?
Condemn the Karma.
Perfect, right? So Lee Sin comes out, condemn the Karma, bait out second gank, right? And then if you have to flash, that's perfect too. That's fine, whatever. That was really worth. So now that we have internalized all that, right? If you can explain all that, you can say, oh, I can push, right? And I can fight them, I can hit them, and slow trade with Nami, and we can push, right? So now we know that there's no fear of a second gank, right? And obviously, you have to do this. This is not like a cookie cutter process where you can say, oh, Nami has no flash, but it's still okay, right? Support has no flash, it's still okay. That's not necessarily true, right? What if this was Kalista, Thresh, Elise? Even if you have flash, there's a high chance you're still gonna die, right? So it's very matchup dependent. That's the kind of thought process we have to go through when we're playing this lane out, right? And the way you think about it is on the way to lane is when you get to think about it, right? That's the kind of the best time. Because what are you doing, right? Are you watching the map? A lot of players like to watch like a fight or something else that's going on. The only reason you ever want to watch a fight is to see if they blow any summoners. Because anytime you see a teammate make a mistake, you'll get tilted, or it's like unnecessary information when you could be like doing something else, right? So that's the kind of time you want to figure out. So that's really the one of the most important parts about at this rank, right? We're diamond, right? One of the most important parts about this rank is not the mechanics, right? We have no mechanical errors, 0. It's all about what should you do in any given situation, right? Like these guys, no mechanical issues. Now he's landing all these bubbles. These guys are landing skill shots. Sure, they might get a little bit more advanced in like challenger in terms of mechanics, but you're not. In order to go from diamond 5 to diamond 1, it's all about what you know and how you use it, right? Like for example, we tumble for a level 1, right? That we're not gonna, obviously it's not a mistake we do every game, but the fact that we do it shows that we are missing a piece of how we should be playing, right? So here, push. You want to trade with Nami, and then everything is Gucci, right? Be careful about tanking minions though, like in this situation. Oh baby, he eat in. Oh, this is awkward. Okay. I think you're not gonna win this. Okay, hold on. Let's watch what's going on here. Okay, so the reason why I was like, what's going on here is because Lee Sin can be here, right?
Right.
So in order to generate a so the stuff we've been talking about in terms of we want to push our advantage, all this stuff, it's like a consistent way to win. It's a consistent way to gain an advantage, right? So it doesn't matter who these players are or how good they are. If we're equal same skill level, we're gonna be winning, right? Because they blue heal, right? In that example, in this example, it's the same thing in terms of you want to bait the Lee Sin gank, you want to take small trades that generate an HP advantage over time, and that's how you win this lane, right? Without having to do any hard work. So if you ever do something that's like an all-in or a big trade or something like that, it can't go wrong, right? So if you ever want to find something it has to be like 100%, right? So this is 100%, right? And it's well within our plans. Small trade. We took an auto trade. That's good. When you all in, it has to be so painfully obvious that it can't go wrong, right?
Okay.
So if I say they have a TP word here, who, like, is it? How many times have you been caught by a TP word in bot lane?
Too many times.
Me too. Me too. Right. So anything, if you have a good enough play that this TP is irrelevant, that's what we're looking for, right? They don't have a word down here, right? Because they haven't pushed up. But just for example, they had a Lee Sin in this bush. Is what I was thinking when this was going down, right? When you're standing out here, it's fine if you want to bait out a small trade, but if you want to all in, right? How do we know this all in doesn't work from the get go?
Right. Well, as soon as I took the Karma Q, I knew that the trade wasn't going to work.
Right. Okay, that's a good one. When they landed a big ability, it's not going to work, right? And what else? We missed something here.
The minion aggro.
Well, hold on. What important ability do we not land? Not us, our team, us. The bot lane duo.
Nami Q.
Yeah. That's super important, right?
Right.
Like for example, let's rewind. So we're at 640 right now, right? Let's go back to level 1 when we tumbled forward, right? The first thing I noticed was that you win after Nami used her wave, right? Here we go. Which means that you can no longer trade, right?
Okay.
So if you ever want to do something, your support has to have their abilities up, right? That's one of the big indicators of, can I do something, right? So here's another example. A lot of players have issues playing with Bard in their lane, right? Because they will try and fight after Bard misses Q, right? It's like, holy shit, Bard can't do anything else. Or they'll try and do an all-in, and the enemy flashes Bard Q, and then your AD carry's like, wait, Bard sucks. No, you should wait for Bard to land it first, right?
Similar to Blitzcrank.
Yeah. That's the kind of idea. That if you miss something, you can't really fight, right? Unless they miss something equally as important, right? They missed a Karma Q, they missed something really big, right? In this case, you cannot go in, right? They even exhausted really well, and if this guy had a Lee Sin, or if they landed anything quicker, right? He could have definitely gone away here, right? Nami had no flash. Nami no flash, they could have killed you, right? Say he just, I don't even know why he casted a W here, right? Right. Say he didn't miss the Nami. You guys are chasing. There's nothing you can do, right? All he has to do is walk away. Karma's hitting you. The instant you turn around, he comes back, right? So this is a kind of a situation where it's impossible to win, right?
Yeah.
So the way to win the game is to make as many situations as possible where it's impossible for you to lose, right? What I mean by that is you create a situation where you cannot lose, like what you do right here earlier when you auto attack trade with this guy right here, right? Cannot lose. It's 100% win. You're gonna land this tumble Q no matter what he does, and no matter what he does, he lost on this trade because you have a sustained support, right? This is what we're looking for. Times like 1,000 times, no matter how big or small it is, right? A big example would be, you're playing top lane and you split against this enemy top laner who doesn't have TP. You say, team, go to Baron, we're gonna vision control. You TP into the fight and you win. What'd you do? You created a 5v4 advantage that you couldn't lose, right? This is what we're looking for in the game.
Okay.
So anytime you do something that isn't part of that plan, right? Your plan is to scale and small trades to out-sustain. Anything that's not part of that, it needs to work 100%, right? And I'm not saying that this is impossible, but I'm saying that those would be missing Nami Q and getting hit by Karma Q would be insane, big indicators it doesn't work. Right? Mechanically speaking, and then not mechanically speaking, you always have to assume the jungler is there, right? Because we've all had those games where the jungler camps our lane, and Rammus is literally always in that bush. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what time you fight. Doesn't matter when you go ward. He's always in that bush, right? That's kind of how you have to play. Otherwise, it'll be can't really win consistently, right? So.
And honestly, that's what happens a lot of times. Like. That's one way that I'd die to a gank, by overextending,
right.
Overcommitting to a fight.
It has to be like the most free thing you've ever seen, right? Okay. So this is an example. This here, let's back it up. Okay, so the kind of strategy or method, I guess, I teach a lot of people is the first step is to come up with the plan you want to do, right? So the plan you want to do is you always know what it is, right? Oh, I'm playing scaling AD carry, want to scale, and then you have sustained support against non-sustained support, and you're like, oh, I want to trade as well, small trades, and then once you can figure out if you can push with flash up or how strong their jungler is or however bot's going, you can say I can push or not, right? So those are your plans. You want to scale, you want to take small trades to out sustain, you want to push up, right? So if you do anything that's not along those, lines, an important event has to occur, right? So say enemy jungler dies, that'd be an important event, or your jungler gets executed, also an important event, right? So your plan may change, or your support misses their bubble, right? That would be an important change, right? No more trading until he has it back, right? So when he ease in, that's an important change, right? He's like, oh, maybe we can do something here. And every time if you miss something, you get hit by something. That's also like an indicator of, you know, maybe you want to change this all in, right? Because this is a good idea to look for it, but once all those things happen, it's not there anymore, right? So yeah, be careful about that.
Just wondering, say I saw Lee Sin on the map, say he was topside. If I mechanically played that better, say flash to Karma Q, would that have been good?
Let's see. So we're here. We see Lee Sin. He ease in, misses that. If you flash condemn, you win that 100%, right? Okay. Because we know that not only do we land the condemn on this guy who has no flash or E, we also dodge a Nami Q. I mean the Karma Q, right? So they're gonna exhaust us, but that's not gonna matter because we have so much space to run down the lane, right? Yeah. So you're gonna win 100%, right? But we didn't. You kind of missed it, and then it's like, oh, tragic, right? Can't do anything now. Should have backed off. Yeah, it's possible to win this, but think about the effort it takes to win this mechanically versus winning in a like thought process manner, right? The thought process manner is gonna win small things every single time. It's gonna win like by small amounts. This is like a big play that'll be like a super big impact, but how many times can you do it out of 100? Right, really hard, right? Yeah. Like not only, like I would not even go for this because how do I know he's gonna flash next to the wall, right? That's like, what the hell? It's like one face, right? I'll take the big trade and walk away is what I would have done, and then I would have been like, oh, he flashed next to the wall, whatever, man. Like usually that's not gonna happen. He's just gonna flash right back to his, like, in the direction of his tower. I don't know what he was smoking, but maybe he was like, I'm gonna use the bush as cover, but that doesn't really make any sense because you can just ward it. So that's really awkward.
Yeah, I also use attack move consistently, so I autoed the ward.
Yeah. That is awkward, but it's whatever. So here, good example of perfect example of what we just said, right? You want to take the small trades. You actually probably can't push anymore, right? Because Lee Sin 6 is kind of dangerous. But here you want to take the small trades to sustain, right? And then, oh, something important happens. He's actually taking a big trade. So the question is, do you ult? Well, do you see the enemy Lee Sin, right? So you still have to assume it's 2v3, right? And Karma, you have to assume like Karma and Lee Sin are right here, right? Or around this wall. So you ulti when you know for sure that something big is happening, right? You guys can actually get this guy, I think. Oh, that's awkward. That's really awkward, right? It's like, I don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. It was close in both directions, but at the end of the day, what's really important is that you can't consistently get something out of that, right? You can consistently get something out of this right here. This is perfect. 100%. No way. The only way this doesn't work is if this Nami DCs and doesn't wave you. Okay, that's literally the only way. Or he's inting and he refuses to heal you. Okay, that's the only way, and that's not gonna happen, right? So this is what we're looking for. Don't use your ultimate. Don't use any abilities. You don't use condemn here. Why aren't you using condemn here?
Why am I, or why aren't I?
Why aren't you?
Because he has E up.
It doesn't do anything, right? It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
No way to condemn him into the wall, right? You would just be wasting it. As a Vayne player, you know this, right? Yeah. As a Tristana player, you would know not to jump in without getting a reset, right? So it's the same thing. Don't use your ultimate without the express purpose of all in, right? And there's no way to all in this guy. He's just gonna walk away. He's gonna run away. So make sure that when you do use your abilities, it's clean, right? This condemn is fucking clean, right? You know, it's so clean, right? There's no way for him to not get hit by it, right? You just have to make sure ultimate is in the same category, right?
Yeah.
This is just a fighting thing. But in terms of, you know, the thought process thing is your plan doesn't change unless something insane happens that's really good, right? So the reason why we say this is not that good is because after that happened, Lee Sin can just come out, Warthog kick Nami, right? Or Warthog kick you, right? So it's kind of a play that didn't really make any sense, right? We didn't really come up with it beforehand, and it wasn't very good. So I don't know what's going on mid now, but
that's probably one of my problems as well. I just sometimes go for things without thinking about it.
Right, exactly. Without thinking about it. That's the important part.
Yeah.
So here, this is dangerous, right? Why is this dangerous?
Nami's taking a ward and she's slow
right.
and
no
1v2.
mana.
I'm basically 1v2, yeah.
Exactly. So you already know. Your plan changed, right? Your plan is short trades, whatever. Plan changed when Nami has no mana because you can't sustain, right? It's very similar. This is the problem I have with Soraka is I'll be saying, oh, I want to take trades, and then I'll be taking trades, and I'm like, holy shit, my Soraka's out of mana. I didn't realize, right?
Yeah.
That would be a problem because if you take trades, you have no mana on Soraka, you guys are screwed, right? So this is really good, right? This is an example of something you're pushing, right? The plan is to push, right? For whatever reason, and then something important happens. What's the important thing? Evelyn shows up, right? So it's like, oh, we have potential here. And then you can say, oh, no, we no longer have to do whatever we're doing, which is small trades or whatever. Maybe we can do something else, which is dive. Well, that was really awkward. Okay, someone's going to die here. Whew! I think you are trapped in their jungle.
Yep,
you got to run.
Well, I wanted to follow up, but maybe...
Yeah, there's nothing you can do, right?
I thought I could... Yeah, I thought I could
kill her, but...
Yeah.
You got the... Oh, okay. Should you stay here?
Definitely not.
Alright, why do you say that?
I read it. I don't know where Lee Sin is. I have no mana. I have no sums. Nami's backing.
Right. If you had 100... Oh my god. Right. So, the question... This is kind of hard because you're playing Vayne.
I actually die for it, yeah.
But yeah, the question of whether to stay in these situations is, can you push before they engage? Right. That's the question. Is can you push before they engage? Answer no, you just base, right? Or you hide in a bush and wait for them to face strike you, right? You can't do that because you have no mana, but right. So actually Lee Sin, here comes Lee Sin, right? So good example of that, I guess. So
I'm really greedy to push out waves, like to deny CS. Even
right. Yeah, so this is like really awkward, right? Because even though we were doing really well at 3 minutes, somehow we lost tower at 11 minutes, right?
Right.
And sure, we're a scaling champion, but these are the kind of ideas that can be transferred to any champion, really, in any lane as well. So this is definitely a good thing to look at, right? So in terms of what do we want to do now, I'll throw that at you. What do you want to do right now?
Just farm. Literally.
How do you farm? How farm? That's a very important question, right? So people have different ideas of farming, like, oh, I'm just gonna sit here and last hit only, or people think that farming is push out this wave and then roam, right? There are different ways to get CS. So what are we specifically looking at?
I'm thinking about pushing out this wave, maybe pushing out next, putting a ward pink down, and then pushing out next wave, and then going to do golems.
Okay. The second question is, can they stop us?
No.
Well, okay. So their engage is like Lee Sin Nami, and you say no because you can ulti away and then condemn the Lee Sin, right, or something like that, right? So you have an idea of how to stop their engage, right? Or you see them on the map, right?
Yeah,
you see them on the map and you say, who can stop me? Ezreal. Okay, that's fine, right? Ezreal can't do shit to us, so we're gonna keep pushing, right? So that's good. First is come up with your plan, and second is can they stop us, right? And the third is do we update this plan when something important happens? So while we're doing this, we're not really thinking about this farm, right? We're thinking about who's missing on the map and what is our team doing, right? So what's going on right now?
I see this tree top pressuring. I see Lee Sin on its way top, and I also see Azir mid.
So a lot of stuff going on top.
I think my plan was okay. I see Ezreal. Yeah, I was just about to back off, and I just saw Ezreal on Karma, so I go take tower.
Right. So
yeah, damage on tower.
This exact sequence of events is if I was playing this, I could not play this better. Right. So this is perfect. Right. This is the kind of thought process we want to do every time for everything, right? Doesn't matter how big or small. So you say, oh, we see people top, and we say no one can stop us, so we're gonna keep pushing, right? So how long do you keep pushing this for?
Well, Ethan's dead, and I see them pushing top still, and the Zero's mid, so I guess I'm free to push until the minion waves dies, take the next minion wave and go back.
Right.
So, like,
Basically, do it until Nar stops you, right? So if you say you want the minions over the tower damage, that's fine too, right? I would say that is acceptable, right? I don't know if you could have taken that tower. So just getting the minions is a-okay, right? And then the longer you don't see people, the more dangerous it is, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything else you can do here? Like, what's the plan now that Nar is here?
Take golems.
I would recommend against, because this shit takes too long, right?
Yeah.
And you take so much damage, right? Is there anything else you could do besides taking golems?
Base.
Okay, that's another option.
I mean,
so,
I have gold.
we're just talking about options here, right? So we're like,
Yeah.
we can base, we can take golems. Anything else?
Rotate mid.
Okay, we could rotate mid. Why do we say that's not a good idea? Although that is an option.
Because the wave's going to be crashing in bot after Nar pushes it in.
What's the more important part about not being able to run mid? Champion, this is like matchup / champion specific or whatever. This is game specific, right?
I could get caught since we have no vision in river. Well, actually not really, because as in...
What is the consistent thing you can get out of roaming mid?
Nothing. I mean,
exactly,
tower,
nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Right, nothing, right? Because you have Yasuo mid and you're playing Vayne. So the only thing you would ever get is like some kind of crazy condemn Yasuo ult thing, and assuming they don't see you, right? So there's like a difference between Ashe roaming mid versus Vayne roaming mid, right? So the reason why we're like, don't do that is because there's nothing you can consistently get, right? And I say don't do golems because it's not worth, right? And then backing is an option, right? Sure, I think backing could be fine, but is there another option that you see here that we can do?
Go top and tell our jungler to go bot.
Okay, yeah, you can base and swap too. That's a fine idea. There's still more options here. Anything else?
Keep pushing against Snar.
You could do that. I would recommend against that too, but that is also another option. Tower pressure, right? Is another option. And there's like one more that we haven't really seen this game yet.
Is Dragon up? I can't tell. No, it's not.
Have you ever thought that a lane was empty because the enemy backed, and then you try and push it and they come out of the bush?
Right. Yeah.
You can stay and camp a bush. That would be another option, right?
Okay.
So we have like roaming, tower pressure, doing camps, vision. We did roaming already, and then like you can camp a bush, right? So these are a bunch of different options. You can't really roam mid. I would recommend against jungle camps. And then basing is okay, but I think here you can mess with Nar, right? Because Vayne is very strong in his side lane, right? And the only way to stop her 1v1 is you need another jungler. You need the enemy jungler, right? So unless they know you're here, you can maybe stay in this bush. Because what is Nar gonna do?
None. Just push.
Right.
I mean,
so if he pushes, uses boomerang on the wave, what do you do?
Ult Q from the bush.
Don't necessarily have to ult. I probably wouldn't ult until I knew I was for sure getting something out of it, right?
Okay.
But I would go for damage, right? If you take away half of Nar's HP, can you defend the tower?
Nope.
Right. At what point do you need him to be low enough for him to not be able to defend against you? 50 HP, 100 HP, 300 HP, right? So if you can take away his HP, Eve is gonna see that, right? And she's gonna be like, oh, maybe we can dive, right? But if we go for jungle camp here, we are losing HP and it's taking too much time, right?
Yep, and resetting.
So right, so it's true that you did get money, but you're gonna lose this wave because this fight is going on, and I think we could have done something better, right? You cannot get this guy. I'm pretty sure. Oh my god, this Eve is actually so strong. Okay, you got him. Nice. It worked. Right, that was good. But yeah, I would recommend against jungle camp for sure. Especially something like golems, Golems is like literally the worst jungle camp alive. That shit like does not die. Like I don't know. It doesn't die fast enough, so it's almost never worth your time. Like if you ever watch anyone's replay at like challenger level, I don't think AD carries ever go for that shit, right? Unless there's like unless it's so desperate there's nothing else to do, or team's dead and there's nothing else to do. Your team was alive, so that's why I was like, don't do that. But yeah, coming back here to farm, right? So you said backing in golems was an option, but once Nara dies, you can push, right? So this is an example of you being able to do this process of what do I want, and then how do they stop me? But make sure that we are able to think about it constantly in game, right? I don't know if you actually think about it constantly in game, do you?
No, a lot of time actually. Recently I've been trying to think more because I've been watching your videos a lot, but you know the whole process that you go through your videos, like what do I want and what do I want to do. I've been trying to do that, but before that I'd say I've been playing on autopilot a lot.
Right. This actually looks pretty good, honestly, in terms of the whole thinking steps we were talking about, like what do you want, how did they stop you, right? This looks pretty good. Just make sure that my only concern is that make sure that you stick to the plan, which is this is just looking from lane, but stick to the plan unless something really important changes, right? So here I would say base, right? You have a shit ton of money. You have so much money, you're like, oh, I gotta spend this, right? Things are looking really good now through the last few minutes. That was really good, right? We got the farm we wanted. We're becoming a threat, right? We're sticking to the sidelines. This team comp is actually really bad, but I think it's possible to win, especially if you keep getting something in the side lane, right?
I was actually top as well, but my top laner luckily gave me ADC, so
nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry, what were you saying?
No, go on.
I was gonna say, what's wrong with the picture here?
Doing long camps again, taking unnecessary damage.
Issue is not necessarily taking it. It's the question is, what is the best thing you can do right now? And their mid laner just died.
Push out. Oh, go siege tower mid or push out bot. No, ball. Maokai's bot. Either siege mid or go top.
Right, exactly. You could be pushing waves, right? The waves are more important than these camps because these camps are hurting you and they're taking longer. And it's not as much money as the waves. Maybe it'll be almost equal in money, but you're losing waves while you do this, right? You can always come back to the camps, and you're kind of denying your jungler, right? He wants money too, and especially if someone important dies, like their mid laner, the best thing you can do is push out and get objectives, right?
Right.
So like you said, tower damage or top farm, whatever. But Rift Herald is up, so you guys could push mid and go Rift Herald, right? That'll be super free. And then using Rift Herald, you knock down mid tower, which normally would be impossible against Azir, right? So I'd be like, oh shit, now we're opening up the map, right? Yeah. And then you open up the map, Eve gets super strong because no one knows where she is. We don't really care about the fact that you tumbled into that, but is there anything you could be doing now though, right?
Well, honestly, I don't think I need to defend that turret.
Yeah, you want to go top, right? You said you want to scale, right? So how do you scale? Stall out the game, get much farm as you can. Any kind of fights like this that's not guaranteed, you never want to take, right? So you come in here, this is never gonna work, right? So when you see something like this happen, you're like, oh, we can't win, right? Because your team is too far away. Maybe you can help, but usually speaking, you're never gonna win those kind of fights. Right? Your team's not there, so you don't try and help that shit. Okay, the plan changes because he takes a bad path, right? Okay, maybe you can win this fight. I still don't think so. They just have more people, right? But unless you guys are getting insane value, you probably want to play more conservative here, right? This guy's chasing, so maybe you can win this. Oh, that's awkward. Oh, okay. I was gonna say tumble forward, right?
I don't know why I didn't win.
You gotta be super cautious of tumbling forward. Okay, it's the same. It's the same thing as when I said, why didn't you condemn here? You said no point, right? Same thing here, no point. You got like how much damage is this? You got 200 damage. That's actually pretty significant, but that's because you crit, right? That was a static crit, so that was unlucky. That was unlucky for him, but not only was a static crit like super unlucky for them, it didn't do anything, right? And it risked you dying here, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right.
I think
no tumble is Ezreal's Q to E flash, or this guy to throw a Q or something like that. I don't know. So be careful about that. You can say you're baiting for Yasuo, but I don't think you were baiting for Yasuo at the time. So something like this, right, is really good, right? No way for him to stop you, right? Something like this is really good and consistent. And then you don't chase because there's no way to fight this, right? Oh yeah, you gotta get out, right?
I think I could have just backed off without
Oh
wasting my
my,
flash there.
what is going on? Oh yeah, you need to leave here. You have no flash. Yeah. So I think the two main things I think you can work on so far just by seeing this is making sure that you can figure out your best option. Like, it's clear that you know what you want, right? Oh, I want to take golems, or I want to take these wraith camps. But you need to ask yourself, is this the best possible decision I can make at this point in time, right?
Okay.
Ask yourself, is this the best thing I can get, right? That's the question you should ask yourself. Is this, first you say, what do I want? And the second is this the best thing I can get? And the third is, can they stop me? Is how I would do it for you. Is make sure you get the best possible option. And then the second part to that is make sure you don't deviate from the plan unless something consistently good is about to happen, right? So say your plan is, I want to scale, I want to stall, and then your team kills someone and says, we want to Baron right now. Okay, plan changes because they killed someone, right? That would be an example. But make sure that you don't deviate from your plan unless something free, that's the word we should use, something free happens, right? No way for it to go wrong, right? Something free. Is this free? I don't know if that's free. You shouldn't go for this, right? Unless this is free. Okay, he thought it was free. Got it. Sure, that's good. Plan changes, we push bot, right? That's kind of how we should be thinking about the game, in my opinion. So yeah. So Eve thought this was free. This is like a 3v5 or some shit, right? But Eve thought it was free because she plays the champion or something, right? And Azir's being a dumbass. So she made the judgment call. It works out. That would be an example of her, changing her plan to steal blue to killing Azir because he's just standing there, right?
Right.
That would be like if we were to quantify it or define it or something, right? That would be what it is. So you guys are like, oh, we want to siege bot, push mid, whatever. Since this dude died, right? So doing this camp, you can do this camp if you did it earlier. It's too late now, right?
Okay.
Because they're gonna. Okay, so say you wanted. So say let's flip the perspectives. They just had a mid laner die. So what is their job? Damage control, right? How do we damage control? The most basic way is to wave clear. So if you're doing Gromp, they can wave clear, right?
Right.
Because you're not hitting the tower or them, right? So so if we see what's going on here,
I could have been pushing that wave already.
Exactly, right? Not only that, but the minion's getting. I don't know what's going on here, but you can't help this because this dude's some stupid shit is going on, right? And we missed half this tower damage. So some weird shit is gonna happen like this, and that's gonna be really awkward, right? You do this when you have nothing better than do.
Okay.
Right? So if you really wanted this, it would be right after you clear this wave, because all you're doing is sitting here, right? All you're doing is waiting. We have nothing to do, right? But if you go through it, it's just like, oh, this is really awkward now, right? So yeah, that's kind of what happened here, right? Okay, so your team dies. Change of plan. Everyone wants to get the hell out, right? Everyone wants to get the hell out unless this is free. You think this is free because you have ulti, but lo and behold, he kicks you in the face and then you die, right? So is there any way we could have stopped this?
I could just ulted towards Nami and condemn the Lisa in a way.
Okay, that's true. If you really wanted to fight, can you come up with a plan to win this fight? Assuming he has no flash.
Yeah, but I as soon as this happened, I actually thought like what would be the best idea, and it would have been to kite back towards Nami.
Perfect, right? So we came up with a few things. One is go for karma. This is not really good. That was the best solution, right? How do they stop us? Lee Sin kicks me in the face. Second one, we can run away and then condemn Lee. Okay, they can't stop us. That's pretty good, right? So that's our baseline plan. And then the third part of that is, oh, while we're running away, we can hit this guy. So if he chases us, we can turn around with ulti and kill him, right? That would be the final form, I guess you could say, of our plan, right? You would hold on to condemn, or you would hold on to your stealth until he tries to kick you, or something like whatever we could come up with, right? Condemn him into the wall when he has 30% HP, he's dead, right? We know that. So you would save condemn until then, right? So we will go along that plan, but make sure that you don't take an option. This is like what I was talking about. Make sure you don't take an option that is subpar, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Otherwise, it would be pretty good, right? We became useful. We have 2 items, right? Game's not over, so we're doing okay, but we could be like taking over the game, if that makes any sense. This is always stuff to be doing better. No matter what the outcome is, there's always stuff we could be doing better, right? So I don't know what's going on here, but this looks kind of scary.
Yeah, they kind of dive too.
Yeah, we don't want this fight. Why? Why do we don't want this fight? Why? Okay,
Zero turret.
how does it work? It doesn't work. How do they stop us? They disengage and they just win, right?
Yeah.
Basically, this is if you want to go more macro level, one of the ways you can recognize if a fight loses or a fight wins is the engage, right? So if the engage fails, you consider that as like a big negative for the team that engaged. So yeah, this engage automatically failed because it didn't. Who did it catch? It didn't catch anyone, right? So I already know you guys lost unless something really important happens, right? So unless she assassinated someone important, you guys are gonna lose, right? Alrighty, what's going on here? I'm curious now. How is this going so well? Oh, you kill someone. Okay, that would be something really important. Is that you get someone for free, right?
Yep.
That was really good by you. Okay, nice, good follow up, good follow up.
I was hesitant to go in.
Let me watch this again. You're a tanking tower too. What the hell?
Yeah.
What the hell? That was sick. Good shit.
I saw the redemption as soon as I saw it. I thought I could go in.
That was good. That was good. That was really good. Okay, now that shit happened. What's the best thing you can get? What's the right here? What's the best thing you can get?
I think Baron.
Baron, yes, Baron.
Yeah,
you can win the game, right? Or get closer to closing out the game, right? So this is what I was talking about in terms of what you specifically should work on is what is the best thing I can get, right? It is not getting this Azir kill. He's halfway across the map away from Baron. You guys can just go Baron, right? What happens if you go Baron and you don't kill Azir? He will face checks Baron and dies to Eve, right? So you guys just want a Baron, and then you say, oh, how can they stop us? Okay, they have Karma, Gnar, Azir. Azir can't check for the reasons we talked about. How can Gnar stop us? He's gonna throw boomerangs. So what do? Stay in, put Baron between us and Gnar, and then turn on him with bubble, right, or something like that, right? We would have an example of a plan, and then Karma, we don't give a shit, right? Unless she Karma empower Qs us somehow. I don't know. I don't think she's a big factor in this 5v3 Baron play, right? So do the goddamn Baron. They try and stop you. You got a win wall, right? This is really no way to stop for them to stop you guys. You guys should go do it, right? What are we doing here?
Waiting for.
Okay, you can say you're waiting for the team. That's true.
Yeah.
But how do we know this Baron's impossible now? Is our tank is no longer with us? So.
Yeah, our tank's not there, and their teammates respond.
Right. So, sure, you can go for the camps here, but definitely after that fight happened, you could maybe ping Baron if you knew that you could ping Baron. Right. The game is not limited to like our own individual play. It's also team related, right? Have you ever heard the idea that League is becoming more team oriented as the years go on? Right, this is a perfect example, right? This Baron is super strong, and if you guys play this right, there's no way for them to win a 5v3, right?
Yep.
Maybe in the past it was possible, not anymore, right? With team play, you guys can automatically win this, right? Okay, so this shit, I don't know what this shit is, but see if you can do anything about it. You can't really do anything about it. Maokai's dying. What is going on? I don't really know. But that really doesn't have anything to do with you. Maybe you can chase this guy if Eve gets the charm off. Okay, good. He kills him by himself. Oh, this is really awkward. You want to just walk away from this, I'm pretty sure. Right? You want to walk away until you can find and engage. There's literally no way for you guys to engage. Okay, is there anything you could have done besides flash?
I don't think I could have went back for the condemn. I think I could have just healed.
Okay. If that's what you think, then that's fine. This is fine. This is gonna be good, actually. This is really good. Oh, you can kill this guy. Oh yes. Oh no! Oh, kill this guy. Oh, it's okay. Right. So, even if the mechanics weren't perfect, right? This is a good example of like it's not your mechanics holding you back, right? Right. Is that what? That's what I would say, right? It's not your like. Look at this. You fucking. What is this? This is a 3v5, 3v4. This is a 3v4, I think. This is a 3v4, right? You want a 3v4, right? Like what what in the world? Against Azir too, right? And Aziro, who's pretty strong right now. But right, the mechanics are not in question, right? It's all about you know, what should you be doing at any given time, and how do they stop you? / don't deviate from your plan when you come up with something. Look at this. This is fucking clean. You guys killed them all. So yeah, now we ping Baron. Okay, 2 people dying isn't a big enough indicator, but 4 people dying is pretty good, right? So this is good. This is good. Now you guys do Baron. Skip. You guys get Baron. Okay, what is the best thing you can get right now?
Item-wise?
No, like on the map. So when we say it's like what is our plan right now? Is what we're really asking, right? After all this happened, what's your basic idea? What are you gonna do once you get Baron? Yeah, siege. Okay, so what lane do you want to siege? This is an important question, right?
I would say bot lane.
Right, I say that's fine too. Right, you guys are very silent oriented. If you guys siege mid, no way to stop Azir. If you guys siege bot, there's a chance you can dive, right? Or the big part here is to split push, right? You are Vayne, you want to split, send someone mid, send someone top, and then they have to pick, right? And the reason why we're good at split pushing is because if they try to engage on you, say Gnar and Lee Sin, you're playing Vayne, you have outplay potential, right? Say they send Gnar, Lee Sin, Nami, Gnar, Lee Sin, Karma versus you and Nami, you guys can hold them long enough for your team to get there, or you guys are just going to kill them outright, right? So that's why as a split pusher, you guys have that kind of pressure, right? You're gonna destroy people, and you have a chance if people come at you, right? If you're playing, what's a good example? If you're playing like Ashe with no ultimate up, you're just gonna die, right? Because you can't do it. You just walk away, you die, right? Different story with Vayne, right? So good decision here to go bot, right? You want to get red, you want to go bot, right? This is really good, right? So it shows that you have pretty clean decisions sometimes. we just need to make sure that it's like the more times you get it, the more times you do this, the better, the higher positive outcome you can, like the more positives you can give to your team, right? And like the more you give your team more room to work with, right? You do all the heavy lifting for your team, right? You ping Baron, you do all the thinking for your team. They don't need a brain. They just need to follow your commands, right?
Yeah,
that'd be pretty good. Pretty good outcome in terms of contributing to the team, right? Push bot, because you know, for all the reasons we talked about, you want to split. Boom, you guys are at the tower already, and they haven't stopped you yet, right? Next question is, how do they stop you?
Gnar ult or Azir ult.
Okay, right. We just gotta just keep them coming. You need to count. You need to count all of them as
it's 5v4.
Okay, man disadvantage, right?
Yeah.
What else? Those are
Karma.
the big ones.
I'd say the biggest would be Karma E, AoE E into Gnar and Azir jumping on us with Lee Sin, obviously.
Right. Yeah, the big one. Oh, Lee Sin. We forgot about Lee Sin, right?
Yeah.
Big ones, like you said. You already knew them off the top of your head. Gnar, ulti. How does he ulti?
Jump off a minion.
Okay, jump off a minion when he has what?
When he's just about to go into mega form.
Perfect, right? So when he's about to go in mega form, you know that he's gonna jump, flash, ulti you. So if you get caught by that, that's your fault, right? How about Azir?
Soldier into E into soldier. Into when he Q, so he moves the soldiers. I don't know exactly. He's gonna dash Q, flash on you, right? Yeah,
so this is why we need flash timers, is because if you have no idea if they have flash or not, you're gonna lose when they do, right? Or you're gonna be unnecessarily zoned when they don't have flash, right? So make sure that you know if you can try and figure out their flash timers, but if you can't, you have to assume they're on, right? Or you wait until they lose a piece of their combo, right? Azir uses his dash, or he just uses Q, or Gnar's not mega, right? Lee Sin's gonna do the same thing. He's gonna Q to a minion, ward hop, flash you, right? So these are other things we gotta watch for. That's our standard, right? So if we can avoid all those things we just talked about, you can hit the tower.
Okay.
Right? Boom, perfect. And then if you account for it, so this is what happens, right? You hit the tower, you know that if Gnar goes on you, you can ulti away, right? You can ulti away, it's not gonna hit you. Then you can hit the tower, he goes on you, you win the fight, 100%, right? Because remember, one of the things we talked about was an indicator for winning or losing a team fight is a failed engage. them doing that and not getting you is a failed engage, right?
Yeah, right.
So
right.
that's kind of, if you ever ask yourself, how can you like almost solo carry a game? You force a bad engage, right? Say you have a QSS, right? That would force a bad engage. They no longer can do that. You QSS, Q away, and you win. Lee Sin, how many times have you seen, like, in a higher like levels of gameplay, Lee Sin goes for an insect, but it gets QSS, and then his team loses, right? That's the thing, right?
Or the Ezreal E, or they flashed into their team.
Exactly. That's a perfect example of how you can win by baiting and engage, right? What else? One thing we did miss was a zero poke, right? We're at that stage of the game where zero can press Q and everyone loses half their health, right? We just saw. Oh, Jesus Christ. So then how do you stop that as a team? Maokai walks up, right? So we have all these pushes and pulls. But basically all you have to worry about is the engage and can you hit this or not, right? The answer is actually usually cannot hit the tower against Azir, but I think you guys are super far ahead. So you guys are allowed to hit the tower, right? This is good. Okay, stop. What do you want to do? Oh, this is awkward. What's going on? Oh, baby. Okay, you guys can end the game. All right, so I think, do you have another replay by any chance?
I have nothing uploaded.
Right, but I think this was a clear example of what you need to work on, in my opinion.
Okay.
Is the whole make sure that you have the best available option possible. Look at this. Okay, so we got Baron. All the way until 26 minutes, right? So we played this to the end of the game, no problem.
Yeah.
Perfect. No, like literally, if you had me play this, I would not have changed anything for the decision making, right? Okay. That's what we were really looking for, right? Because it's not the mechanics that separate you from like the higher tier of players. It's the what should you do and why, right? And how do you do it, right? This is perfect, right? No change. Take the tower, hit the tower, sure. Follow up with your team. Perfect. You won the game. It's the other stuff beforehand, right? Actually, we can even say here, right? When we call this Baron or whatever, this team fight, sure. From here to the end of the game. Yeah. This is perfect. Now we gotta make sure it's the same for the first 20 minutes, right? Or whatever sections of time, right? Because not being able to get enough from your advantage means the enemy comes back, right? That's happened a lot in every solo queue game, right? Is how many times have you been winning by so much, and then everyone starts screwing around, and the game is over?
Actually,
right?
that's
so stupid, right?
I wanted to show you. Yeah.
That is the dumbest shit to ever happen, right? You never want that to happen, and this is how we do that: is always pick the best option, right? And no one screws around, right? Because the opposite has happened too. The enemy is so far ahead, and then they dick around, they lose Baron, and they lose one fight, and the game's over, right? Yeah. I was actually watching Reckless's stream when he was playing in Korea, and his team was up by like thousands and thousands of gold, and then all of a sudden, the enemy team took Baron when his team was trying to do Inferno, right? They didn't account for the fact that, what's the best thing we can do? They said Inferno, and then how can they stop us? They counter with Baron. They didn't take that into account, and then the enemy got Baron. So what happened? The enemy team started the siege, and then one person got caught. The game was over. Jesus. Right. So all it takes is for suboptimal decision making, and then the other team's gonna lose, right? So if you can make all the decisions for your team, you're gonna win, right? If you can accumulate all these mini advantages in lane, right? So say for example we had destroyed lane because we made no mistakes. Nar comes down, we kill Nar too. Okay. Doesn't that mean we win the game by ourselves, right? That's kind of the solo impact we can have on a game. Right. It's still pretty big, right? Maybe not as big as a few years ago, but it's still really important. It's just that, now we have to play around our Nami having abilities up, and we have to make sure that we don't make any subpar decisions, and then we also make sure that we can try and control what our team does, right? But we still there's like a lot that we can do, right? So I would say the first is make sure that you figure out what the best thing you can do at any given time. And make sure you don't change that, right? Because this laning phase is a story about how you were winning lane super hard, and the only time you lost like your advantage was when you did something weird, right? Yeah. Is we tried to all in, and then it the outcome was good, right? The outcome was good. You got a trade kill. You're scaling AD carry. Waves pushing into you. But
That won't happen
like
most of the
this is
time.
like a what face, right? He could have he could have played around it. He could have had a jungler, not consistent, right? We want consistency is really the key here, right? Consistency is key here. So if you ever want to change your plan, right? So this is really scary. This condemn 100% consistency. The ultimate is like is consistent that is not gonna work, right? So anytime you make a decision that's not part of your plan, right? You need to make sure it's gonna work 100%, right? You can tumble in here because you know that you can't lose, but you shouldn't ulti because that's your ulti is worth a lot, right? How much is your ulti worth in a Lee Sin game?
In a Lee Sin game?
Right? In a Lee Sin game.
Too much. Oh, in a Lee Sin gang, too much.
It's really good. It cancels his kick. Cancels his kick. So if we don't have it, we better have a good reason, right? We're using it to get 80% of their health or something like that, right? You need to have a good reason when you use it. But that's like kind of, I would say this is kind of nitpicking at this point for now, right? Just make sure that if you ever change your, or make sure that you come up with a plan, which I think you're doing. Make sure that you second guess it always, because no matter what rank you're at, you're always gonna make a mistake, or you don't know as much as you think you do, right?
Okay.
I may be in like higher stages, like higher ranks of the game, but I still know nothing, right? The more you know, the less you actually know, right? If that makes any sense, right?
No, I understand it. Yeah.
It's like math, where you're like, oh, I know everything when you're in grade 6, and then you start taking calculus and stuff, and you're like, what is this shit? I have no idea what I'm doing. And I look at my friends' like homework, I'm like, what are these symbols, dude? I don't know.
Yeah.
Math major, you're crazy. So yeah, it's like the more you know, always second guess like what you know, and basically always second guess like what you're doing at any given time. Like if someone says you're doing something bad, you should like brush it off and mute them, whatever. But then after the game, you should be like, look back and say, oh, was he right? Right? Should I change the way I play?
Okay.
Because more times than not, we are wrong more than we know. Right? We're wrong more than half the time. Is what I think Albert Einstein said. I mean, not Albert Einstein. What am I smoking? Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin was like, we're wrong more than like 50% of the time, or something like that. So
yeah, it's true.
Doubly true for league players, or triply true for league players.
Yeah.
Right? We have no clue what we're doing, so
I mean,
gotta make sure.
Yeah, a lot of times, like I'd be doing something like pushing, or especially on Vayne, actually, I'd be just about the team fight, or actually a really good example would be in the Ezreal game I want to show you. So I was really far ahead, and it was in one of the most important team fights of the game, which was, I think it was the second last one, but we basically was for a 3v1 at the end. Just their Cassiopeia left. I was playing Ezreal, and I still had my E up, and I thought I was safe, but what I didn't take into account was the ult flash from Cassiopeia.
Right, they're engaged, right?
Yeah,
engaged.
yeah.
So all it takes is one mistake, and it's everyone. Oh no, not like this, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, that is awkward.
I think I just need to really think more about.
So, the way, if I were you, the way I would say to practice getting better at this specific instance is when you're playing, make sure that at any given instance, any given time, you say, this is my plan, right? So say this is the lane. We're gonna say, oh, I want to take small trades, right? Even trades, at worst, maybe slightly losing because you have sustain. That's the plan. And then say, oh, I want to push if I can push. If it's possible to push, I want to push because we can bait out ganks, right? That's the plan. And then make sure you double check it, right? Oh, is this the best plan I can do, right? Usually in lane, that's gonna be your best plan, right? There's not too much in lane you can do besides backing, camping a bush, or pushing / making sure they can't push or something like that, right? You're kind of limited in lane. So in lane we think about that. And the second thing is, how can they stop me, right? Obvious one is gank or engage, or say you're playing Ezreal Karma and they're playing Vayne Nami. How do you stop them from using trade? How do you stop them from trading with you? Evenly.
Stay back.
Right, until when?
Use our range. Until Karma gets a W.
Right, or say,
good mantra.
Say this Vayne wants to hit you, so you get close enough for her to try and hit you. You walk backwards, bam, mantra Q to the face, right? For example, is how you play around that, or you trade harder than her, right? So if you go back to level 1, I'm sure you want to trade, but you don't want to trade this hard, right? So when he's standing here, he's like, oh, if she comes up here, we win, right? So you came up there and they won, right? So that would be an example of how you play around it. Is oh, we know they want to trade, so how do we make it so that their trade is so goddamn awful it wasn't worth, right?
Yeah,
something like that. Or you have a gank nearby and you say, oh, they want to trade, lol, let's go on, let's engage them, right? Something like that. So that's yeah. So wow, I lost my train of thought. Okay, yeah. And then how can they stop you, right? The plan, is this the best possible plan I can come up with? Is this the best thing I can get at this time, right? And then how can they stop me, right? This works the other way around too. If you're losing, right? If your support gets caught, you say, what's the best I can get? XP, right? I cannot last hit under tower because they're gonna die me. I'm gonna get XP, and then that's the best you can get. Okay, fair, right? And then don't change your plan unless something big happens, right? Your team is coming to counter dive, right? So say your team is saying they have TP, you say, oh, I'm gonna try and get the CS so they can dive me, right? And then we counter TP, right? Something like that. So plan, is this the best thing you can come up with, and what is the counter to this, right? How do they stop me? And I think that like core will fix all the big issues that we saw, right? In terms of figuring out what the best thing to do, right? Because that is always like a question that comes up. The order of importance is objectives, right? When in doubt, push out. Wow, that rhymes, yo. When in doubt, push out, right? So if you're ever in doubt, so at this Azir died and you're doing this right here. When in doubt, push out. Okay, so best thing you can get, you're not really sure. If you push out, you will have more options, right? So what are the options you told me in lane? Oh, we can roam, we can base, we can camp a bush, we can get tower damage. All those options are available after you push out, right? So when in doubt, push out. Because if you push out, you can go back to this camp, right? Pushing out is the best thing you can do if you don't know what to do. So you say, oh, plan is push out. Can they stop me? No. Good to go. Plan is push out. Can they stop me? Yes. What is it? Oh, Rengar ulti. Okay, then what's the second best thing I can get? Oh, this jungle camp or whatever, right? So then that's how you figure it out. But when in doubt, push out. Wow, I'm gonna use that now. That's good. Yeah.
So I should be thinking like this consistently, like
right.
Every action I do.
Like if someone was watching over your shoulder and they stopped the game, like they froze the game and they said, what were you thinking right now? You should have been like, oh, I was trying to do this, and I was gonna do this in case they try to stop me, right? So when I said you're gonna go and mess with that Gnar bot, and the only counter was Lee Sin was gonna be here. Okay, here we go. Let's watch this. So the reason why I was like, oh, you can mess with this Gnar is because your Eve is down here, right? So what happens when Gnar tries to fight back? If he hops backward, Lee Sin is not here, or there's a higher chance Lee Sin is not here. So he hops towards the bush, you push, and you win because you hit him. He hops back to his tower, you can push still, right? Or you can keep chasing or whatever. He jumps on you, you know Lee Sin's here. So you kite with your ulti or whatever, make sure you condemn the Lee Sin and walk towards Eve, right? That would be your plan. And then you're gonna win because you're Vayne, right? And Eve is strong or whatever at this point, right? You're gonna win because you got the jump on him. You got the first few hits on him. So you're winning in the race. And he doesn't have Mega Gnar. That's why I was like, I would sit in this bush. Is because I'm gonna get all these free hits and he's not Mega Gnar, right? You're gonna win 1v1. If it's 2v1, you run for your Eve, right? Or you use your condemn or whatever. And that's how you know you can't lose, right? Consistency. It would be a consistent play. So maybe try for that, right? But basically, whatever you do, make sure that you can get something consistently. Or if it's not like 100%, make it a high chance, right? So the example with Ashe roaming mid, after pushing out, that's not 100%, but it's a very high chance, right? So say it's a Victor without cleanse. You walk out into lane, he can run in one direction, back to his tower. If he doesn't do that, you volley and he's slow and you hit him anyways, right, with the arrow. So literally no chance. So what are the chances of it not working? He stays at his tower, right? So there's a high chance he's gonna come out, right? Especially at these ranks where everyone fucking walks out, right? They're like, oh wave, let me get that, right? This Gnar is not gonna think about this Eve being here, even though she could have been here, right? Eve could have been right next to us. Actually, look at this. He did. This is actually the perfect example. Eve is right here, right? So the exact example that we're talking about. Dude, what are you smoking, dude? How do you stop Eve engage? He has no idea. He dies. So this is a throw, right? Because gave scaling 80 carry, 240 gold, and 3 waves, right? So they're losing the game now, right?
Yeah.
So make sure that anything we do is consistent and good, right? Because the opposite is gonna happen when we don't make consistent plays, like dying bot or dying to a gank or something stupid like that, right?
Or doing golems.
How many times did you play when Olaf was strong?
Like what season?
I don't remember. It was like 2 seasons ago, or last season, or Olaf or Graves or whatever the hell that was. Right?
When Olaf Jungle was a thing, yeah.
Right. So every time I had like such an appalling win rate against Olaf Jungle. And I was like, why am I losing this shit all the time? It's because I was the guy who died first, right? So if you die to Olaf or Hecarim, it's your fault starting the snowball, right? So I was like, holy shit, that's what I was doing wrong. So I made sure that no matter what happened, I didn't die to that shit, right? So make sure that consistency is number one when you make your plans, and how can they stop you, right? It's got to work every time. If it doesn't work every time, it's like not useful as a plan.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So that's what I would say. All right. It's like here's another example. Say you need your Thresh to predict hook Ezreal flash. In order for this fight to work, yeah, don't go for that fight, right?
Right.
I would not go for that fight ever. So yeah.
So like, say one of those fights that my team did that didn't look good, but they turned out being okay.
Okay, let's go to one of these.
Like probably the one with the Zero Tower would be the best.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, let's see.
Yeah. So like.
So what happened here is that looks like it's a poor engage, right? But what's the best thing you can get right now? There's nothing else you can get except look for an opportunity.
Right.
That's the best thing you get. So you stay around, look for an opportunity. What are you gonna do?
Okay.
You're gonna go bot? There's nothing to do bot, right? So you stay here, look for an opportunity. You definitely try not to get poked too, right? Because the more damage you take, the less options you have, right? So you just sit here, and you also don't use abilities unless you have to, right? That would be saving all your stuff until an opportunity arises, right? Even tumble is important, right? What if you could tumble in here to finish him off or something like that? I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, if you think something really bad is going on, you want to spam ping back. But if they're just going through with it, you look to help. But if there's literally if you don't see the play, you can't act upon it, right? What are you gonna do? Fight randomly, right? You play as safe as you can, and you wait for the play to happen. You saw this guy. That was your play, right? You saw this guy. You're like, I know I can kill him. That was your plan. That was your play, right? You wait until you can see that. Otherwise, you don't help, right? One of the biggest issues with lethality Varus players when they're trying for the first time is that they don't understand how they're supposed to fight, right? They walk up to try and hit someone and they instantly die. And it's like, dude, you're playing lethality Varus. Charge up your Q, right?
Yeah.
That's not how you play lethality Varus, right? So this is a good example, right? You're not walking into this Azir, right? You're waiting until you can one-shot this dude. Or when you go in, there's nothing he can do, right? That's the kind of idea we're looking for, is that when you go in, there's nothing they can do, right? Is there anything these guys can do?
Nope.
Nothing they can do, right? Because Azir uses ultimate, right? So maybe you're like, oh, I'm waiting for XYZ to happen. Okay, Lee Sin's out of the question. I don't see Gnar, so boom, we can go for this guy. Well, honestly, if you don't see Gnar, you should assume that he's in a bad spot for you. Wait, where is Gnar?
There he is. He just popped up on the ward in topside jungle.
Oh, what the fuck? That's why this worked. Oh yeah, they were man down. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, I thought it was a 5v5 this whole time. This is a 5v4. So yeah, if you knew that, then you say, oh, we ping forward. We know we can't lose, right? Gnar TP is gonna be late because he has no Mega Gnar. So that's why this works. I was like, why is this so one-sided? Yeah, holy shit. Wow. Okay. I thought I was going crazy there. I was like, how does this engage actually work? But they're just missing a person. So
yeah, I only realized as well.
Big indicator, right? Is that even so? Notice how that engage wasn't not even close to being very good, but it was very good because they didn't have a person, right?
Right.
So right, not having a person is more important than a poor engage, right? So which is why whenever you see like people have man advantage and Malphite ults the closest target, doesn't matter if it's a support, it's gonna be good because the enemy team doesn't have enough people, right?
Yeah.
Something like that, something along those lines. So yeah, this is actually pretty good. This is a different example. This Maokai dying for free was a good example too. Where is it? It was like mid lane. He was like walking near red or something, and your team comp was like really bad, so you didn't really want to fight yet. This dude just died.
Right. Yeah.
This one. Okay, so let's look at this. All right. Okay, sure. Whatever. Doing Raptors. Maybe we could have been doing something different. Whatever. Coming mid here, we're gonna clear. Right. This is the best thing we can do is clear their push. Mankai's looking to engage. Can we help this guy? No, because if we come out, we just get hit. Right. So unless you can come up with a plan to counter him poking you, you don't do anything. And the reason why we can't come up with a plan is why?
It won't be 100%.
Yeah. And we're missing people. We're missing people. That's the big one. Something about 100% could be like, oh, I'm gonna tumble his Q or something, but we're just missing people and there's no vision, right? Okay. So can't help this guy. Don't walk through here, right? You just get one shot, right? So yeah, make sure you don't walk through here. Make sure that if you're coming to help, you have an accurate idea of what's gonna happen in the next 2 seconds. I would say. Yeah. Right.
I thought the Ezreal was gonna ult EQW like.
Right. Exactly. Me too. I thought he was gonna ult you over the wall, and you're gonna get a lot of damage.
2 steps to win back.
Right. So what's the idea here? Maybe we can look to help this guy if we can flash over. Nothing to flash over here. Can we condense someone? We're too far away, right? Maybe we can hit someone, sure. But we're too late, so we don't do anything. It's fine. It's gonna happen every game. Right? Yeah. Their side, your side, doesn't matter. Just don't make it worse, or if they do it, punish them as hard as they can, right? So Azir died mid, punish them with the Rift Herald. Your teammate dies, clear all these waves, make sure they can't push their advantage, right? So yeah, fight breaks out, you look to see if you can help, right? You look for a condemn, sure it doesn't work. Nice try. And then basically you look for an opportunity, right? Okay, that could have been really bad, right? So this is an example of we're looking for an opportunity in this specific spot. How do they stop us? Right. Okay, Lee Sin is out of the question. Ezreal doesn't have enough burst yet. Azir used his ultimate. What are we missing? Nar's not on the map. Right? So if you had gotten stunned here, you would have died, I'm pretty sure, right?
Right, definitely.
Actually, maybe, but I felt like it would have been really bad if you got stunned there, right? Maybe the outcome would have changed. For example.
Maybe if Lee Sin was closer.
Right. Something like that. It was just super dangerous because if they played it any better, what would have happened? If you guys lost this fight, right? This is the fucking, no one knows who's gonna win this fight, right? So I don't know what's going on, but if you guys lose this fight, you guys are gonna lose Rift Herald and mid tower and top tower, right? So that's like holy shit. You guys want to scale, so
game changing.
Imagine if Azir got all those kills and the solo tower and like solo tower gold with another wave, right? All of a sudden you guys can't be fighting anything. You guys are gonna be super pressured to make something happen before he pokes you guys out. So that would have been super awkward. Actually, he is getting kills. Actually, yeah. So I kind of missed that, but yeah, that's like super awkward. How do you prevent this? Spam ping back because you know it's 4v5, right? Right. The only time, when is the only time someone would ignore your spam pings? Either when they hit you or inting or whatever, or when they think they have an engage so good it doesn't matter, right? We're gonna go in. Right. Okay. You spam ping a Malphite who has a 5-man ult, he's gonna keep going, right? So then at that point, if they make that decision, then you know it's probably gonna be really good, right? So how did he wait? Oh yeah, he didn't even have his ultimate, right? Yasuo didn't even have his ultimate. I was gonna say, for example, this could have been really good, but he didn't. I don't know what he was doing, but yeah. Like like for example, you were spam pinging in the jungle and Eve killed a Azir, right? As Eve knows 100% she's gonna kill Azir, okay, right? That's good. So the way you influence these really poor or really good fights is spam ping. If that doesn't work, help the best you can, but make sure you don't come up with an idea that's gonna fail, right? Okay. Make sure that if you can't help, don't try and help, right? Because for example, if you try and help a losing fight, say one person gets caught and the enemy team goes to Baron, right? The 4 of you can do something when the enemy is on Baron, right? There's a lot of pressure for them to turn or to finish, but they have to make a lot of decisions because you guys can kill them when they're doing Baron, right? Let's say, for example, someone gets caught and the whole fight, everyone tries to help, right? Without thinking. And then once, sure, a bunch of kills are traded, at the end of the day, jungler and AD carry are alive on the enemy team. They do Baron with 0 interference, right? What's the difference? Is that you guys couldn't do anything. But if you guys like let that dude die because you can't help, then you guys can maybe do something after, right? This is especially true for the AD carry, right? Because The AD carry can like make miracles happen, right? If the support is alive, what is the best thing they can do in a 1v5 situation? Like proxy the fucking waves. That's it. Right?
Yeah.
If the AD carry is alive, they can proxy the wave backdoor, set up a face check camp, right? Enemy AD carry tries to face check because they think it's 4v1. You instantly kill them. You can stop their push, right? Or you can wave clear under tower. They dive you. You can outplay, right? There's a lot of things you can do. So make sure that you especially make like the correct calls, if that makes any sense, right?
Okay.
A lot of pressure on us to do the right thing, right? It's just more. It's like more pressure on the jungler support early game, right? More pressure on us late game. You know how it goes, right?
Yeah.
That's just how the game works, due to like scaling and usefulness and stuff. So, right, like we said, how many options do you have in lane? A lot less than you do out of lane, right?
Okay.
So yeah. Any questions, by the way, before we wrap this up? I think that was the majority, or pretty much all of what I thought.
Yeah. No, I think I get it. Like, I know I'm mechanically decent, but even though I might not show that much this game, but
Do I look pretty good? The spot on Ezreal I did not see. That was really good. Back in this Zero Tower is up, and you're like, oh, I can kill this guy. I did not know that. So that was really good.
But I think sometimes, even though like I might get 1v3s or 1v4s or whatever, sometimes like it's not very thought out. You know, it just happens.
Right. It's like it just like happens without like that used to be me, right? I used to be like a run of the mill AD carry in like Diamond, doing all like the plays all the time, right? But what happened when the plays didn't work? Lose, right? No idea.
Exactly.
So yeah, you have to change when something's not working out. You got to figure out why and fix it, right? So I was like, wait, why is this not working? And then I was like, oh, it's because I'm not thinking about their flash, or oh, Saber's just gonna spell shield it or something like that. So once you start thinking about that stuff, you come up with something that can't be countered. Boom, that's when you win, right?
Yep.
Put yourself in a position where you cannot lose is really the underlying theme. So yeah.
Yeah.
Any last questions?
No
Nice.
questions.
Nice. All right, so
I know what I need to work on.
I'll put this up on YouTube. You work on the things we talked about, and then let me know how things go. If you have any questions later, any like 30-second clips you want to show me, I'm always online on Discord, so feel free to hit me those. Cool. Otherwise, I'll just upload this on YouTube and send you the link. Sound good?
All right. Yeah. Cool, man.
All right.
By the way, I love your videos, man. By the way, I love your videos. By the way.
Oh, thank you.
I only found you like I think it was like 2 weeks ago. I found your videos, and because I was looking for I was watching LS, but I was only looking at like I was trying to look for clips for videos of like AD carries, coachings. And then I saw your channel, which was like purely for bot lane. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna watch this guy.
Nice. That's good. Feel free to spread the word, right? Always love more viewers, but I'm glad you enjoy my content.
I actually haven't watched your stream yet. I think I read today because I only went on your Twitch today, but you stream weekdays.
Oh yeah. Usually, I don't really have a stream. I don't really have a stream schedule yet, but I was trying to stream like pretty much every day last week until I got sick. So I'm waiting until that kind of passes over. But yeah, I'll be trying to stream frequently.
Okay.
Usually in the morning to afternoon to night, EST.
Yeah.
So yeah. It'll be ready, but
yeah. No, I remember a long time ago I saw like I was watching streams and I saw your name, but it was the one with Rin, and I didn't link that to your Saber.
Oh yeah. That's
and then I just realized that they were linked. I was like, oh, I've been watching this. I mean, I've seen this guy from last year, so didn't even realize.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Most people are like, oh, are you like a fanboy or something? I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm a fanboy.
I fucking love Saber.
Yeah, not real Saber.
Oh
yeah.
Really?
No, that's my go-to answer when someone asks me.
Oh, okay. Alright.
Yeah, definitely let me know how things go. So.
Will do, man. Thanks a lot.
Man, have a good night, dude. I think you need to go to bed. Me too.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, good luck, man.
See you, man. Bye-bye.